Okay, so for our first week of distance learning, our topic was infectious diseases, and one of the activities I gave you the option to do was download and play the game Plague Inc. Plague Inc. is a simulator of the spread of infectious diseases and just how quickly a viral infection or bacterial infection can spread throughout the world and eventually eradicate humans. Okay, throughout the game, it pops up with global news and local news, little deals telling you things that are happening around the world. Usually, it's in response to your viral infection. After you complete the game, you have the option to look at different graphs. There's the disease graph, the world graph, which we have pictured here, and the cure graph, basically showing you how long it'll take scientists to come up with a cure or vaccination for your disease. So some things to take into consideration. Your starting location matters. Okay, when picking your starting location, you need to take into account the type of infection you're trying to spread, the geographical location of where you're selecting, and how accessible your location is. So if the location you select has a larger population, obviously the disease will spread a lot faster than it would with a country with a much lower population. For example, starting your infection here in the United States versus starting it in Iceland. Okay, another thing to take into consideration is the location accessibility. Again, a lot more people travel to the United States and out of the United States than people typically go to Iceland or leave Iceland to go somewhere. There are several challenges in the game while you're playing. Just to name a few, the mutations, your infection will mutate on its own. It's part of the game. It can either help or hurt you. The infection rate of your disease is also a challenge because you don't want your infection to spread very slowly, but you also don't want it to spread too fast. Part of the game is to see how long it takes for the world to realize this infection is happening. Okay, which then leads into the global response. Once your disease has been identified, people around the world are going to start trying to find a cure for the disease so it can prevent the spread of the disease and killing of people. Another thing, you don't want your disease to kill people too fast because if it does, the disease will die off on its own because everybody that it is infected has passed away. So, as a class, the majority of you chose China for the starting location. That's probably one of the best places to start any kind of infection just because China has the world's largest population of over 1 billion people. Literally 1/7 of our world's population comes from one country. A lot of you faced similar challenges that you expressed to me, that being the mutations of your viral infection and the global response as far as cure efforts, countries closing their borders, banning travel, not allowing people to enter or leave the country. And just for your information's sake, the fastest time it took for one of you to eradicate mankind was 371 days, so just over a year. And the longest amount of time it took one of you was 961 days, or just under 3 years. So as you can see, your starting location matters, the type of infection matters, and how it spreads matters. And, a lot of this is what we're seeing right now in the world as far as COVID-19 is concerned. So those of you that played, I hope you enjoyed it. Those of you that didn't play, hopefully this gives you a bit more of an insight of what the game is like.